Ladies and gentlemen, I am Jim the Fuzzy, and welcome back to Civ5 Civilization 5. When we left off, I'd been talking about our religion, spreading it, plans for that, and so on. Now, in between episodes, I was going back and looking at difficulty. If you remember back in episode 20, I provided a link in the description to the list of modifiers that the AI gets for difficulty on every different difficulty level in the game. And I actually went back and took a really detailed look at that, and it frustrates me a lot more than it did. That I am more frustrated by it than I thought I would be. Let's put it that way. Why? Because the civilization AI is really, really bad, and they made up for it by cheating. How so? Well, let's just take right now the unit upkeep. We go to the military overview. We have a total supply of units here. I get 5 from the difficulty setting, an additional 2 from every city I have, and then some more based on population, giving me a total of 20. Now, the thing is, since the AI is playing on difficulty level 2, he gets 7 base supply and 3 per city, so it would be at 7 and 9 and 9, which means it would be at 25 total population. Total unit supply. Before it starts seeing any penalties from having too many units. Well, it's actually even worse than that. Because on Prince, difficulty I'm playing on, which is difficulty level 4 out of 8, it actually gets 20% more supply. So, if I was sitting here as the AI, or rather if there was an AI controlling my empire, it would be able to have 50% more units than I can. Just right off the bat. And this is one of the less egregious cases of what it can do. Or where it gets on the higher difficulties. On the highest difficulty setting, it gets a 50% bonus, which puts it at close to double what I have. Maybe 37 or 38. I don't know how it rounds, and I've only got 20. Yeah, that's an identical situation. And on top of that, because it's playing on difficulty 2, it gets a 60% unhappiness multiplier. So if we were to take the 25% unhappiness I have, it would actually get 10 less. So it would have a total unhappiness of 15. Just because of base settings. And it also gets 1 more happiness from every luxury, which means it would get 5 from the marble and 5 from the spices instead of the 4 each. Which means we're sitting at, it would have, again, AI in identical situation to me, would have 14 happiness. Except it's not an identical situation to me because the AI is terrible at managing its happiness. On Deity, the highest difficulty setting, the AI gets another 60% multiplier on top of that 60%, which means it has 36% unhappiness. Or going back to this, that would be somewhere around 9 unhappiness total generated. Which is just insane. What's worse is that the AI is still so bad that it can't keep its empire happy with a number that low. The numbers are so rigged to make up for how bad the AI is, and even they cannot make up for it. Also, economically, for the AI to build roads, well, how much are we spending on roads? Let's find out. We are spending 7 gold on roads. Roads cost 1 gold per turn, and railroads cost 2. Well, because the AI is on difficulty level 2, it gets to pay half that cost. So, it'd be paying 3.5 gold per turn. On top of that, policy costs, it gets 2/3 the policy cost. And unit cost. And 5% discount on research. And 2/3 the cost of buildings. What does that mean? Well, I come to Rio de Janeiro where I'm building this artist guild, which costs 150 production. If this was the AI, it would only have to pay 100 production. Again, identical situation. This is how Firaxis balances difficulty. They don't know how to come up with a decent AI, so they cheat. And on Deity, the cost here would be 50. It can build it has 1/3 the cost that you do. Not to mention that on Deity, its workers do things twice as fast, and it starts off the game with 2 workers, which basically means all these workers I have now, the AI would start off the game with that many. Or the equivalent of that. And just let that sink in for a minute. How long did it take me to get all this? Not to mention the bonus versus barbarians. I don't know what our bonus versus barbarians is offhand. I think we have a base of 40%. Maybe it's 30. And we add 33% from honor. Thing is, the AI starts off with a higher barbarian bonus. Bonus versus barbarians. If its numbers are additive like they are for us, if these bonuses are additive rather than multiplicative, then it starts off with 110% bonus versus barbarians. If they are not additive and they are instead multiplicative, then it starts off with a 90% bonus, which is still higher than we have. And yet, notice how the Shoshone already lost 2 settlers to barbarians. And then we grabbed 2 more. And if you just think about that for a minute, how did they take so... How have they lost so much with such an overwhelming numerical advantage? Not to mention the cost of research, where they are still getting a 5% discount. And if we look at machinery, it costs 635 science, which means they're paying under 600. The AI plays identically on Deity and on Settler, or close enough to identically. The problem is, how many bonuses does the AI get? The reason I say it's close enough to identically is because the AI considers a certain number of options when it decides what to do, and on higher levels it considers fewer options, which means it's more likely to do the better option. And yes, we'll build a farm here. Now we hit next turn. Gandhi has Chichen Itza. I don't know what that does. Buenos Aires canceled a quest. And now we have a great scientist. Alright. Well, we got... Okay, let's see. The leaders of Buenos Aires canceled a quest. I don't... Where's Buenos Aires? Here. I don't know what quest they wanted, so... Okay. Singapore has declared war on Pocatello. What do they have? What kind of... They are mercantile, so they're giving us extra happiness. So we have 2 resources there. We got the Great Scientist. The incense, which means Salvador's going to grow faster. Great. The one point at which we don't want it growing anymore. I should show Q. And it's going to grow faster. Those bonus... Wheel of the King Day usually only pops up about once per city. Maybe twice. So we get a one-time bonus at the one time it's absolutely terrible for us to have the one-time bonus. Singapore has declared war on Pocatello. Fine. We got 40 points of influence with Pocatello. And now we get strategic and luxury resources. So, do they have the incense? They have the incense. And they naturally have the jewelry, so hooray. Alright. Now we need to decide what we want to do with this scientist. First thing we can do is use Discover Technology. That means he will just be consumed and give us 217 points of science. The other option, and this is the one I generally prefer, is we can put him out somewhere and turn him into a structure. That's confusing. He can create a special tile improvement. Just one time, like, as you can see right here. Construct an academy. I don't want to construct the academy right there. I'd rather build a farm right there. Using this worker. And construct the academy right here where it will destroy the farm. And the reason I want to do that is because of civil service. Civil service gives us bonuses to tiles, to farms on fresh water. Otherwise, we need to wait until fertilizer, which is way over here. Civil service is a lot closer, and gives us a bonus a lot faster. Which means we will get more of a benefit from it, which means I'm willing to sacrifice this farm, and send a worker up to build a farm here. So, this swordsman is our shock swordsman. And... okay. I'll move you up here. And now you give me line of sight. Now I'm going to move this scientist. And the reason I'm moving this scientist over to Sao Paulo is because Sao Paulo is a better... it's going to have more science, and it's also going to get multipliers. Therefore, we get more out of the multipliers. Now, the absolute best case would be, you know, Salvador. And maybe I should do that, actually. Just buy a tile. Can I afford to buy a tile? Yeah, I can. How much is it going to cost me? 80 gold. Pay 80 gold for a better long-term result? I say yes. Very much yes. This tile is of great advantage to Salvador. So, yeah, let's grab this. Which actually benefits the growth. So, yes, you will come over here. Actually, I think I may have clicked on the wrong tile, so I'm going to cancel its mission. Click on it again. Hit move, and say move to right there. Good. Now, next unit, the scout. I'm gonna move the swordsman back to Sao Paulo. Mostly to save money. And I'm going to leave this scout here. And he's going to go back on alert. And you're going to go on alert. And that ends our turn. So I guess with Salvador, we're going to be buying a few tiles to take advantage of its growth. We do have the spices already, so no advantage to getting rid of the jungle here for those. And I think that's about it. Yep, that's it. So let's see what happens next. Oh, I was thinking about a spread of religion. And now we have Islam just spreading so rapidly. And how it's reinforcing itself so much. So, what I want to do is to get a missionary. It costs the same as a pagoda, but what it's going to do is let us get Rio de Janeiro. Rio de Janeiro will also let us get Salvador. Why is that important? Because it gives us a nice buffer area. It also helps a little bit with Mozankani. And when we set up our new city over here, having Salvador already having the population, not just population, but the religion, we'll start improving it right away. Salvador, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9, is also within range of Mozankani. 3, 4, 5, 6. No, and Rio de Janeiro is not. But with Salvador, we're going to be able to put more pressure on Mozankani. Not only that, but if we go to our beliefs, or my religion, we have the religious text, which means our religion spreads 25% faster. If we get printing press, it'll spread 50% faster. Printing press is right here, and we have to decide if we're going to go for that first or acoustics first. Either way, we need both. The other major thing is that Sao Paulo is our holy city, so that once we get theology, we can build the Grand Temple, which doubles the religious pressure from that city. Which means Sao Paulo is going to be able to push twice as much pressure. It's going to be at 60, which means that every single city within range is going to have 18 once we get the printing press, and 15 until then. Note that Sofia is getting 18 from having 3 cities nearby. Sao Paulo by itself will be putting out the same amount of religious pressure as 3 other cities. When we combine that with Rio de Janeiro, having its output down here, it's going to be basically impossible for the Islam to naturally spread down into this area. Which is very, very good for us. I mean, could it be better? Yeah, it could. But we need the missionary now in order to get the spread started on his multiplicative effect. And basically the end of the episode, but I want to do one more turn first. Not much has happened, other than me. Oh. So Jerusalem got more faith. Hong Kong, we lost there. Buenos Aires wants tribute from Byblos. Sofia canceled a quest. Okay. And Mayans are now allied with Jerusalem. So the Mayans are going to get a lot more religion now. Or not, a lot more faith now. Fine. You can go on alert. You can go on alert. And now we're done with this turn. And we're done with the episode. And yes, we need to save up 500 faith for a great profit. That's going to take us a while. Which is why I'm investing in the missionary right now. And after the missionary, I'm going to have it auto-buy pagodas. The one thing I am worried about is if they walk over with a missionary to try and convert some of our cities. We can buy Inquisitors, and that'll be good. But I don't know how much it'll help in the long run. Well, it'll keep our cities from being converted. But will it keep the cities around us in good shape? We don't know that, and it'll be a while before we can find out. Well, one last thing is the plus 30 pressure in the Holy City means that this is exerting as much pressure on itself as 5 other cities. Which means that in order to convert this, Islam will need to have 6 cities within range in order to start making a dent. And that assumes I don't have any of my own cities within range that are applying pressure. The more I have, the better it gets. So with that, thank you very much for watching. I've been Jim the Fuzzy, and I do hope to see you again next time.